Hello, welcome back to another discovery. And today I want to start with this. Have done everything right? You have taken the master class, you have invested in courses, in workshops, you have hired the coaches, you have built the funnels, posted the reels, show up on stories, mapped out the content calendars, and follow every single strategy that the online business world told you that it will work. And yet, nothing is working. You are sitting there right now. Maybe it's early in the morning before anyone else wakes up. Or maybe it's late at night after a long day of trying to hold everything together. And your business is still feels like pushing a boulder up the hill alone in the heat with no end in sight. And what makes it worse, what makes it almost unbearable, is that you are a smart woman. You know you're smart. You feel the calling in your life. You can feel the impact that you're meant to have. You can see the vision so clearly that it almost hurts to look at it. But something is blocking it, something invisible, something that no course, no strategy, no funnel, no content calendar, it has been able to fix it. Today, I need you to hear me. And I need you to let this message land all the way into your bones. It's not because you're missing the strategy. The problem is not your offer. The problem is not your pricing. It's not your Instagram or your email list that you have. In fact, you have not figured it out, maybe TikTok yet. That is not the problem. The answer that you have been searching is not on another PDF download. It's not another group coaching program where somebody gives you another template, another way to send the message. The strategy is not broken. Your alignment is. And over the next hour, I'm going to take you on the deepest dive that you have ever been and into the real reason why your business is stuck. We're going to look at your nervous system. We're going to look at your subconscious programming. We're going to look at the generational wounds that they're living in your body right now, that they're quiet, that they're invisible, that they're systematically repelling the wealth that you're looking for, the impact, the freedom that you have been praying for. So grab a journal, grab a pen, because this is not just another video that you're going to watch. This is a video that you will experience. And by the time that we are done, you are going to understand yourself and your business in a way that you have never understood it before. Before we go any deeper, if nobody has ever told you the truth about why your business feels stuck, why do you feel like this? I need you to hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel is not about more strategies. This is not a space where I'm going to give you another checklist. This is a space where we do the real work. Hit subscribe so you never miss a video. Then maybe that video can finally change everything for you. Are you ready? Let's go. Let me start by painting a picture that I think is going to be very familiar for you. You wake up in the morning, and before you feel that your feet even hit the floor, the thoughts already started. They're already there. The anxiety about the month revenue, the question of whether you should change your niche, the comparison, the scrolling through someone else's launch results and asking yourself, what did they have done different? The mental calculation on how many clients you need, how many posts you need to make, how many DMs you need to send just to keep the lights on. Those thoughts start very early when you open your eyes. And then you go through the day carrying all of that. You try to write the captions and it feels that it's being forced. You try to film the reel and you hate the way it looks. You try to hop on a sales call, and somewhere in the back of your mind, that little voice is whispering, they're not going to say yes. They're going to say that you're too expensive. Who do you think you are? And by the end of the day, you're exhausted. Not just physically exhausted. You are so exhausted because you have been fighting a war all day. And the war is not the algorithm. The war is not with your competitors. The war is happening inside of you. Now, here's the questions that the coaching industry never asks. Here's the question that all of the business strategies is skip right over. Why does it feel like war? Why does showing up in your business feel so heavy, so draining, so hard when on the other side of it, you can feel with absolutely certain that this is what you were called to do? That gap, that space between the calling and the experience. The gap is what we're going to close today. To understand why your business is stuck, we're going to have to go underneath that surface. We have to stop looking at your strategy and start looking at your operating system. Because here's the truth that most business coaches will never tell you. Because most business coaches do not understand neuroscience. You cannot outwork misalignment nervous system. Let me say that again because I need you to understand this because I need this information to really land on your body. You cannot outwork a misaligned nervous system. Your brain, the most sophisticated piece of technology that it has ever existed on this planet. Yes, your brain is running a program right now, and that program was written long time ago. And it was written in the childhood. It was written in moments of rejection, disappointment, fear. And it was written through the words of people who told you that you were too much, or that you were not enough, or that money doesn't grow on trees, or that successful people are greedy, or that you need to work yourself halfway to death to deserve anything good in this life. And here's what the researchers tells us. And this is the work that Dr. Joe Dispenza, one of the most brilliant minds studying in the intersection of neuroscience and human transformation. Your subconscious mind is running 95% of your behavior. 95%. Think about that for a moment. That means that only 5% of what you do every day is actually a conscious and an intentional action. The other 95% is running in autopilot. It's running on the program that it was installed before you even had the ability to question it. So what is this program is saying to you? For most of the women that I work with, that program sounds like this. It is not safe to be seen. Money is hard to make and easy to lose. I don't deserve to charge that much. If I become too successful, I will lose relationships. Who am I to think that I can do this? And here is the insidious thing. You don't hear that program playing. It's not like here's a voice that is announcing it clearly. It runs deep underneath everything. It runs underneath your actions. It shows up on procrastination. It shows up in trying to be perfect. It shows up as you rewriting that caption 17 times before posting it. It shows up as you're being almost ready to launch for the past 6 months. That is not laziness. That is not lack of discipline. That is your nervous system protecting you from a threat that it perceives. And that threat is visibility. Now, I want to get very specific about your nervous system because understanding this changed my life. And it has changed the lives of the women that I have worked with. Your nervous system has one primary job. One. And that job is to keep you safe. In the ancient world, that means keeping you safe from predators, from starvation, from being cast out of the tribe. Because if you were cast out of the tribe 10,000 years ago, you died. Being excluded, being rejected, being seen is different. These were literally life-threatening experience. And here's the problem. Your nervous system has not been updated since then. So when you go to post a video sharing your truth, your nervous system cannot tell the difference between stepping in front of a lion and stepping to post a video. The biological response is identical. Your heart rate goes up, your palms get sweaty, your thoughts start spiraling into the worst case scenarios, and your body, beautiful and intelligent, protected, hits the emergency brakes. This is what David Baer calls primal world beliefs. These are the beliefs your nervous system forms in moments of pain or fear. They are now running your experience of reality. And the reason that they are so hard to shift with traditional mindset work is because they are not stored in your mind. They're stored in your body, in your nervous system. And the tension in your shoulders when you're about to do a pricing, the tightness in your chest when you think about being visible, and the freezing response that takes over when you sit down to create content. Your body has become the mind. And until you address what is happening in your body, in the nervous system, no amount of affirmation, vision boards, or business strategy is going to move the needle in the way you need to. Let me give you an example of what it looks like in real business life. A woman came to me. She had a beautiful offer. She had the testimonial. She had a small but engaged audience. On paper, everything was in place, so beautiful. But her sales were inconsistent and her launches felt like pulling teeth. She's exhausted and confused because she's doing everything right. And when we went underneath the surface, when we started doing the real work, here's what we found. She grew up in a household where money was a source of conflict, where asking for things was seen as selfish, where her mother worked herself to the bone and had nothing to show for it. In somewhere deep in her nervous system, she made a decision, not consciously, but deeply embedded into her body. The money causes pain. The wanting more is dangerous. The staying small is safe. And so every time she gets close to a breakthrough, every time her business starts to gain momentum, her nervous system pulls back the cord. She unconsciously self-sabotage. She undercharges. She over-delivers until she burns out. She attracts clients who drain her instead of energizing her. Not because she's doing anything wrong strategically, but because her nervous system is running a protection program that is older than her business, older than her adult self. A program that it was written by a little girl who just wanted to survive. And here's the miracle. Here's the thing that it gives me chills every single time I see it happening into my clients. When you heal your nervous system, when you regulate your body and rewrite the program, everything changes almost immediately. Suddenly, posting content does not feel terrifying. It feels exciting. Suddenly, stating your price on sales call doesn't make your voice shake. It feels like declaration of your worth. Suddenly, clients start finding you, not because you changed your strategy, but because your energy shifted, because you became what matched what you were asking for. And I want to pause right now and ask you to make a decision. Not tomorrow, right now. And this is the moment. In the comments below, I want you to type the words, I am ready. That's it. 2 words. Because here's what science and spirituality both agree on. The moment you declare an intention out loud or write it down, your brain begins to rewire a new neural pathway towards that reality. You are not just typing words, you are making a promise with the future version of yourself. Type it, own it. Let's keep going. Now, I want to take this even deeper because the nervous system piece is powerful, but it's not the only layer. And the women that I work with, they need to understand all the layers because until you see the full picture, you will keep treating the symptoms instead of the root. The next layer is what we call it quantum field, reality of your business. And I know that sounds big. I know that maybe it sounds abstract or even a little out there, but stay with me. Because what I'm about to share with you is backed by some of the most cutting edge science on the planet. And it has everything to do with your business and the reason why you're stuck. Dr. John Dispenza has spent decades studying what happens in the brain and the body when people experience transformation. And one of the most profound things he has found is this: your body becomes addicted to the emotions it used to feel. I will say it again. Your body becomes addicted to the emotions it used to feel. And if you have spent years in a state of stress, anxiety, scarcity, struggle, your body literally becomes chemically dependent upon those emotional states. The hormones stress, the adrenaline, the cortisol, they become familiar, they become comfortable, they become home. And so here's a terrifying thing that nobody tells you. A part of you is used to or being addicted to being stuck, not because you want to be stuck, not because you are self sabotaging on purpose, but because at a cellular level, struggles feels familiar and familiar feels safe. In success, on the other hand, real success, the kind that you're calling in, feels unfamiliar. And unfamiliar to a dysregulated nervous system feels dangerous. This is why you can visualize your dream life with the perfect clarity and still not take the actions to create it. This is why you can know exactly what you need to do and still find yourself paralyzed. This is why you can have a breakthrough and a coaching call, feel incredible for 3 days, and then watch yourself slide right back into the old patterns. It's not a character flaw. It's not lack of faith. It's biology. And the way you override that biology is not through more willpower. It's not through forcing yourself to push harder. The way you override it is through practice, generating a new emotional state in your body, feeling the emotions of your desired reality before the external evidence will show up. Until your body becomes as addicted to abundance as it used to be to lack. This is meditation. This is breath work. This is the deeper inner work of rewiring your nervous system at a cellular level. And when you do this work consistently, when you show up every single day and choose the emotions of your next level identity, something extraordinary starts to happen. You start to collapse time. Opportunities will start to show up. Those opportunities would have taken years. Now it's taking months. Clients start to find you out of nowhere. Revenue jumps without corresponding increase in effort. Not because you manifested like magic, but because you became a vibrational match for it. This is quantum reality. And it is available to you, not just to some people. No, it's available to everybody. Now let's talk about the piece that perhaps is the most profound and the most personal. Because we can talk about nervous system, quantum fields, and subconscious programming. And all of that is real, and all of that is important. But underneath all of it, there is something even more fundamental, something that most coaches are too afraid to touch, and it is generational trauma. This is the work that Danny Morrell introduced me in a way that it broke me open. And if you have never considered how the wounds of your ancestors are living in your body and showing up in your business, I need you to pay very close attention right now. Science, specifically epigenetic, has now proven what spiritual traditions have known for thousands of years. Trauma is passed down. The emotional experience of your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, the pain they carry, the wounds that they never heal, the beliefs that they form in their darkest moments, those experiences leave biologically imprint in your body, and that imprint is passed down to you, and you pass it down to your children, and it continues on if nobody breaks it. Think about the family in your lineage, your mother, her mother, the women who came before you. What was the relationship with money, with power, with visibility, with being a leader, with speaking their truth? For most of the women that I work with, and I am willing to bet this that it will land for you too, the women who came before them, they were not allowed to hold power. They were not allowed to accumulate wealth. They were shamed from speaking too loudly. They were punished for taking up space. They were told that their worth was tied to how much they can give, how much they can sacrifice or serve, not how much they earn, they led, or succeeded. Those experiences are in your DNA. They're in your nervous system, and they're playing out in your business right now. When you struggle to charge premium prices, there is a part of you that is carrying your grandmother's belief that women who want too much are selfish. When you shrink on camera, there is a part of you that is carrying generations of women who were punished for being too visible, too loud, too powerful. When you feel guilty for wanting that financial freedom, it's a part of you that inherited that wounded woman who were never allowed to be financially free. You're not just building a business, you are breaking generational curse. And that is holy work. That is the hardest, the most important, most life changing work that is, not just for you, but for your daughters, for your sons, for the daughters of your daughters, and for every woman in your lineage who came after you. If something I said just now has touched a wound you didn't even know it was there, if you felt something shift in your chest while we were talking about your mother, about the woman you were told not to be, I want you to give this video a like right now. Not for me, for the woman who needs this message and she has not found it yet. Every time you like this video, the algorithm sends it to another woman sitting exactly where you were sitting before you pressed play today. You have the power to be the reason that she finds her breakthrough. Hit the like button, be the reason someone else gets free. So, how do you heal that? How do you actually do the work? You're probably asking that question. And I want to give you something practical here because I know some of you are feeling a lot right now and you're wondering, okay, this all makes sense, but what do I actually do with this information? The first thing that I need you to understand that healing generational wounds is not an intellectual exercise. You cannot think your way out of it. You cannot write it in your journal and get it through any afternoon. This is a body work. This is deep, sacred, committed inner work, and it requires a container, a guide, a process, a consistent practice. But here's where you start. You start with awareness. You start by getting radical, honest about the beliefs that you're carrying, not just about business, but about yourself, about your worthiness, about what you deserve, about what is possible for someone like you. Ask yourself, what did I learn about money growing up? What did I learn about being successful? What did I learn about what happened to women who are too visible, too powerful, or too vocal? Write it down, all of it. The ugly, the shameful, the irrational. Write it down without judgment because you cannot heal what you cannot see. The second step is grief. This is the step that most people skip. And this step is what changes everything. You have to grieve the version of yourself that it built your entire identity around these limiting beliefs. You have to grieve this little girl who made those decisions to stay small in order to stay safe. You have to honor her because she was doing the best she could with what she had. And then you have to lovingly, compassionately let her go because she's not who you are anymore. The third step is rewriting. This is where you actively begin to build the new identity, a new internal narrative, not through toxic positivity, not through forcing yourself to believe things that you don't feel true yet, but through evidence gathering, through deliberately collecting proof of the new story, that the new story is real. Every time you show up on camera and the world doesn't end, that's an evidence. Every time you state your price and someone says yes, that's an evidence. Every time you share your truth and someone responds with, this is exactly what I needed, that is your evidence. You are building a new body of proof, a new neural architecture, a new sense of self. And the fourth step is the one that accelerates everything, is community. It's doing this work in a container where you are held, witnessed, and guided by someone who already done the work. Because you cannot see your own blind spots. You cannot heal in isolation what was wounded in relationship. Now, I want to shift to something that I feel is my absolute gift to share. And it is a place where I blend the teachings of Stephen Furtick with the spiritual business wisdom of David Guillen. Because I believe with everything in me that your business is not just a business, it's a calling. And a calling carries different rules than a strategy. Let me ask you a dangerous question. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Because here it is. What if the reason your business feels stuck isn't because you need to do more, but because you need to become more? What if the ceiling of your revenue is not a marketing problem? What if it is an identity problem? What if the universe, God, source, the divine intelligence that is orchestrating every moment of your life? What if it's not withholding your breakthrough? What if it is simply waiting for you to become the woman who can handle it? Because here's what I have seen over and over again in this work. Women who are incredible, talented, gifted, deeply called, who are trying to build something at the level that their current identity cannot yet hold. You want six-figure business, but your self-image is built around someone who struggles financially. You want premium clients who value and respect you, but your nervous system is calibrated to attract people who drain you. You want to be seen as authority, as a leader, as an expert, but inside is still part of you that it feels like an imposter. You cannot hold what your identity has not yet claimed. And this is what Stephen Furtick means when he talks about the gap between the call and your life and your current capacity to fulfill it. God does not give you the calling without also giving you the path to grow into. But here's the key. The growth comes first. The external results come after. You have to become the woman before the business reflects her. And I know how that sounds. I know some of you are thinking, okay, but I have bills to pay. I need the results right now. I don't have time to work on my identity while my business is collapsing. And I hear you. I see you. And I'm going to tell you something that I know to be true from my own journey and from the journeys of every woman that I have the honor to walk along the side. The fastest path to external result is an internal transformation. And I know it feels counterintuitive. I know the world tells you to hustle harder, post more, optimize your funnel, run ads, and maybe some of those things will create a short-term bump. But as long as your internal frequency is broadcasting lack, scarcity, and fear, as long as your nervous system is wired to survival, you will keep recreating the same results, no matter what strategy are you using. The moment you shift inside, the moment your identity expands, your nervous system regulates, your beliefs align with your calling, the outside moves faster in ways that it will shock you. The universe does not respond to your vision board, it responds to your state of being. David Guillen teaches that the highest form of manifestation is not visualization, it is transformation, it's becoming. At the level of character in consciousness, the version of yourself who already has what you're asking for. And when you do that, when you fully inhabit that identity, you become magnetic. Opportunities will find you. The right clients will find you. The right partnerships, the right collaborations, the right sources that are drawn to your frequency. You stop chasing the business and the business starts chasing you. That is the next level, and it is available to you right now in this season of your life. I want to speak to something that I know is living in the back of some of your mind as we're going through this. Some of you are thinking, this sounds beautiful, but this is real? Can I really transform my business by doing the inner work? Should I be focusing on things that I can control, like my content, my sales process? And to you, I want to say yes, you should absolutely focus on your content and your sales process. The practical work matters, strategy matters, showing up consistently matters. But here's what I want you to consider. You have been doing the practical work, you have been showing up, you have been implementing the strategies, and something is still not working, which means the bottleneck is not the strategy. The bottleneck is the operator. Think about it this way. You can have the most powerful, most sophisticated, most brilliant engineered car in the world. But if the driver is in a state of panic, if the driver is going back and forth, if the driver is frozen at the wheel, it does not matter how powerful the car is. It is not going to go anywhere you need to go. You are the driver. Your nervous system is the state you're driving in. And right now, for a lot of you, you're trying to race at 200 miles per hour while your foot is still on brake. The inner work is not instead of the strategy. It is the foundation that it makes the strategy work. When you are regulated, when your nervous system is calm, when your identity is aligned with your calling, when your energy is broadcasting certainty in abundance rather than desperation and fear, your content lands differently. Your sales conversations feel different. Your presence on camera is magnetic in a way that no lighting setup or editing technique can manufacture. People do not just buy your offer, they buy your energy. They buy your certainty. They buy the feeling that they get when you are in their presence, even through a screen. And you cannot fake that. You can only become that. Let me bring this home with something personal. It was a season in my life and in my business where I was doing everything I was supposed to do, posting consistently, showing up on calls, serving my clients with everything that I had. And it still felt like I was running like in a quicksand. And I remember sitting in that place of exhaustion, confusion, chaos, that place where you start to wonder if you misheard the calling. If maybe this is not for you, if maybe you are just not gifted, capable, or you just did something wrong. And it was in that season when I was confronted with the truth, that truth that it changed everything in me. It wasn't my strategy that it was the problem. It was that I was building my business on top of an unhealed wound, a deep old wound about my own worthiness, a belief buried so far beneath my conscious awareness that I could not even see it. And that belief said, you are not the kind of person who gets to have this. And when I finally did the work, when I finally went into that womb with courage and compassion and chose to heal it, everything shifted. Not gradually, quickly, in ways that it still gives me chills when I think about them, because that's what the inner work does. It removes the ceiling. It dismantles the invisible infrastructure of limitation that it has been running your experience without your knowledge or your consent. And when that ceiling is gone, there is nothing to stop you. We have covered so much ground today. The nervous system, the 95% subconscious program, the quantum field, and the body addiction to familiar emotions, the generational wounds that they're leaving in your DNA, the identity gap between who you are right now and the woman that the business needs for you to become. And now I need to ask you something honest. I need you to sit with this. How long are you willing to stay stuck? Because there are two types of women that are watching this video right now. The first woman is going to say, wow, that was powerful. That really resonated with me. And then she's going to close the laptop, go make dinner, scroll through Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, and wake up tomorrow in the same exact place that she is today. In 6 months from now, she will still be wondering why her business is not growing. The second woman, she's going to say, not one more day. I'm done. I'm done watching my dreams sliding. I'm done trying to strategy my way out of a spiritual problem. I am ready to do the real work. And if you are the second woman, and I believe with everything in me that you are, because you did not just stumble on this video by accident, here's your next step. Go to therealnextlevel.com right now. Apply for a coaching session with me. This is not a sales call. This is not a pitch. This is a strategy session, a deep, honest, one on one conversation where we look exactly what's happening beneath the surface of your business, where we identify the specific block, the specific wound, the specific belief, the specific nervous system pattern that is keeping your business from the breakthrough that is ready for. I only work with a small number of women at a time because this work is deep and is sacred. I refuse to dilute it by spreading myself too thin. If the application is open, it means there is a space. And I believe that it's open for you right now because you were guided to this video today. That is not coincidence. That is alignment. That is the universe responding to your readiness. So go to therealnextlevel.com, apply. Let's find the block and break it through together. Let's build the next level of your business on the foundation that is actually holds not just strategy, but soul, not just tactics, but transformation. The link is in the description below and it will take you 2 minutes to fill out the application. Do it now before the moment passes, before fear starts talking to you again, because you can break the pattern now. And waiting has kept you exactly where you are. Do it differently this time. Be the second woman. And to everyone who is still with me, thank you. Generally, thank you from the deepest part of my heart. The fact that you gave me this time, that you sat with me through all of this, it tells me everything I need to know about you. You are serious, you are hungry, you are ready. So here's my ask. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done it already, because every week I'm going to bring you more of this, more of the real conversation, more of the truth that the business coaching industry does not want you to have, more of the deeper work that it actually creates the transformation that you are looking for. Like this video and share it with the one woman in your life who needs to hear that she is not broken, she's not lazy, she's not behind, she's not failing. She is just blocked, and the blocks can be healed. Stop asking, what strategy do I need? Start asking, who do I need to become? The strategy was never the problem. You just needed to come home to yourself. I will see you on the next video, and I will see some of you, the brave ones, the ones that were ready, over at www.therealnextlevel.com. Do the work. You are worthy. Your calling is worthy. And the women whose lives you are meant to change, they're waiting for you to become who you were always meant to be. Go be her. Yellow diamonds in